Hi, my name is Ananya Sinha, and I go to school at the Arlington Career Center in Arlington, Virginia. I am super excited to tell you a bit about my project that I did this year. I tested the effect of covering ice in different additives on how much of the ice melted. I think that climate change is a really important issue that needs to be addressed. It is affecting all organisms, and many people and animals are at risk. A big effect of climate change is that the polar ice caps are melting, which is what my project targets. The polar ice caps melt because their albedo, or reflectivity, is being broken down by the warming temperatures. This means that they are not able to reflect light as well, thus melting. This is a topic that really interests me. So one day, I came across this article about a group of scientists called Ice 911 that sprinkled environmentally friendly silica beads over ice, which actually slowed down the melting of the ice. So that article got me wondering, are there other additives out there that can protect ice? And that was how my project was born. For my experiment, I used 4 different additives: glitter, silica beads, glass beads, sand, and a control where nothing new was added to the ice. I took these additives and added them to the top of the ice cubes. Now I'm going to show you a demonstration on how I made these ice cubes. First, I put 16 milliliters of water in the ice cube molds and froze that, as you can see here. Then, once it was frozen, I added 3.5 milliliters of additives directly on top of the ice. In this set, I had 2 ice cubes that had sand, 2 with glass beads, 2 with glitter, 2 with silica beads, and 2 with no additives. I also added another 3 milliliters of water to make sure that the additives stayed in place. Then I put it back into the freezer. My research hypothesis was that glitter would protect the albedo of ice the best because of its reflective properties. It would reflect light instead of refracting or permeating like the other additives. After that, I put the ice cubes under light bulbs for 20 minutes to see how the additives affected how much the ice cubes melted. Here is a picture of my setup. There was 1 ice cube of each independent variable level under the light. Using the weight of the ice before and after being heated, I calculated the percent of mass change of each ice cube. I had 15 trials. The ANOVA test gave me a p-value of 0.04, which was statistically significant. This means I can reject my null hypothesis. When I calculated all of my results, it seemed like silica beads slowed the melting of ice the best, with an average percent mass change of negative 19.6%. Glitter was a close second with an average percent mass change of negative 19.8%. Glass beads had an average of negative 21.4%, sand had an average of negative 23%, and no additives had an average of negative 26%. The averages of silica beads and glitter were so close that I decided to do a Tukey test between them to see if there was statistical significance. And that was a good choice. With a p-value of 0.99995, the difference between these 2 groups are not statistically significant. This means that I can't say if glitter or silica beads slow the melting of ice more efficiently, but I can say that silica beads and glitter both slow the melting of ice. I really enjoyed doing this experiment. I think that it would be interesting to do this experiment again, but with more trials. Maybe then I could get definite results on whether glitter or silica beads slow the melting of ice more. Also, I think it's important to recognize that glitter is bad for the environment since it's made of microplastics. An experiment to find an environmentally friendly way to replicate glitter's reflective properties would be really beneficial because we can help slow the melting of ice. Soot has been collecting on the Arctic sea ice, which is causing ice to melt faster. I would love to do an experiment that compares how soot, glitter, and silica beads affect the melting of ice. This was a really interesting project for me. I have always been interested in climate change and finding ways to stop it. This experiment gave me a different perspective on it. The experiment focuses more on mitigating the effects of climate change rather than stopping it altogether, and it can help make the effects of climate change less severe. I want to do my part to make sure that Earth is a livable place for future generations, so I'm really happy that I got to learn more about climate change. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about my project.